We'll have your starting lineups in a moment, but first to honor Canada, we ask that you stand and remove your caps for the singing of tonight's national anthem. Tonight's national anthem will be performed by Peg Michi. Let's hear it for Peg Michi. And now here are your starting lineups. First for the visitors on the scoreboard, the St. John Riptide. A 6'9" forward from Queens, New York, number 1, Brian Addison. A 5'11" guard from Lynn, Massachusetts, number 12, Anthony Anderson. A 5'6" guard from Pasadena, California, number 23, Horace Wormley. A 6'6" forward from Phoenix, Arizona, number 25, Gabe Freeman. And a 6'6" forward from Toronto, Ontario, number 35, Olu Famutimi. The Riptide are coached by Rob Spahn, with his assistants Aaron Drummond, Randy Lassiter, Jim Palmer, and Paul Vaughn. And now please welcome to the court your KW Titans Dance Pack. 6'3" guard from Toronto, number 9, Trevor Sutherland. A 6'5" guard from Moorhead, Kentucky, number 15, Adam Wing. And a 6'7" forward from Detroit, Michigan. He's your NBL Central Division Player of the Week, number 33, Glenn Whitfield. The Titans are coached by Serge Langis with his assistants Rob Damiani and Joey Moore, strength and conditioning coach Mitchell Hooper, athletic therapists Kathleen DaCosta and Stephanie.
It's home sweet home for the KW Titans after nearly 2 weeks away from the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. They are back home after a successful 2 out of 3 road swing in the Atlantic Conference. Hello everyone, welcome inside the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. Ian Jodry and Dan Paulchuk here with you for some Saturday night National Basketball League of Canada action. It's a St. John Riptide back in town. There's many different Taylor Swift lyrics I could quote, but to simply put it this way, there's some bad blood between these two teams, and Coach Langis told us he does not forget.
He certainly doesn't, and through his comments in the local newspapers here, he's really one of the lone standing figures still remaining with this overhauled KW Titans roster. A lot of changes with KW since that altercation which took place out east just a couple months ago, and he's certainly not one to forget, and not to say he's holding a grudge, but I'm sure he'd love nothing more than to take home a victory today against the St. John Riptide here on their home floor. A Riptide team that's already clinched a playoff spot, the KW Titans, in a jostling position, I guess if you want to call it that, along with the Orangeville A's and Niagara River Lions for that 3rd and 4th spot in the Central Division. And ideally, KW would want to come away with the 3rd spot here in their inaugural season, trying to avoid the London Lightning in the first round.
That 3rd seed is oh so crucial in those standings. Give yourself a chance against a lower seeded team other than the powerhouse London Lightning. Starting 5, as you saw for the Titans, are Tremar Sutherland, Isaiah Umapeg, Adam Wing, Adam Blazik. And up top is Glenn Whitfield, the NBL Canada Central Conference Player of the Week. An outstanding performance in the last few games here in Ontario, and as well in that road swing out east where he dominated, helping them to take 2 out of 3. The opening jump shot off the mark that time from Gabe Freeman, who was part of the London Lightning franchise in their inaugural 2 seasons and helped them to a championship. Blazik, corner 3, puts it in. There's a 3-0 start for the Titans.
Glenn Whitfield mentioning his Player of the Week honors back-to-back, along with Adam Blazik, the aforementioned Adam Blazik, draining that 3 Player of the Week for the Central Division just 7 days prior to Whitfield. So the Titans getting some league-wide recognition in the last 14 days.
Famatimi, difficult shot. Freeman can't pounce on the rebound, and Umapeg ahead. Whitfield into the corner. Sutherland almost lost the ball, has time for the 3 again, but can't get it to drop.
What a heads-up play there by Whitfield. Momentum carrying him out of bounds, but was able to get enough on that pass over for Sutherland for the open look. Now there's a nice looking 3 the other way.
Anthony Anderson pulls up and drills the triple. He former NBL Canada Most Valuable Player a few years ago. Sutherland, however, misses his 2nd consecutive triple, and Anderson has been with this Millrats team since day 1. He was part of those Manchester Millrats of the Premier Basketball League before they eventually came to St. John and joined the National Basketball League of Canada.
And having a career year averaging, well, I guess almost a career year with the 23.7 points per game, slightly off the 24.3 points a game he put up in 2013-14, but having a bit of a resurgence after a bit of a drop down in production, under 20 points a game last year.
Sutherland with back-to-back misses works inside, and Whitfield back to work, and that one looked like it was halfway down but back out. And now the Riptide with a chance to extend the lead. Freeman in the corner, he's working on Adam Wing, 15 to shoot and 9.5 to go. Pulls up and drops one in. Gabe Freeman, 5 points in a span of just about 40 seconds, and it's an 8-3 St. John lead.
Stared down the Titans bench after making that 3 ball as well.
keeping your emotions in check is going to be a big part of this ball game. Both coaches are aware of it. Got to try and weather any kind of storm that might come of it early on.
Wow, Tremar Sutherland, from a player's perspective, the brother of Tremik Sutherland, who was fined and suspended and eventually let go by the team, said it's basically all but forgotten, or so he says anyways. So we'll have to see whether they just focus on all things basketball tonight.
Blazek pump fake the corner three. Sutherland takes a step in, drives, floats, and misses front rim. And the foul call the other way. It looks like Sutherland reached in on Anthony Anderson. That'll be number 1 for the Titans.
Talking about Anderson and his resurgence, if you will, this season. 31 points the other night in a losing effort against the London Lightning. Well, pretty entertaining ball game from an offensive perspective.
8.5 minutes ago, it's a 10-5 Riptide lead. Into the corner, quick release 3 from Famatimi off the mark. Olu Famatimi spent time with the Halifax Rainmen at the time before coming over to St. John, a Toronto, Ontario native, so I think just about an hour away from his home city.
Famatimi, 33 years of age, spending time at the University of Arkansas. All SEC freshman honors with the University of Arkansas Razorbacks. Declared early for the 05 NBA draft, in fact, was not selected, however. So them's the breaks sometimes. Flying his trade now with Riptide.
Umapeg the dish inside for Sutherland, but he walked. That's actually a 3 in the key when he called on the Titans, so it's St. John basketball. Bit of a rocky start here for Kitchener-Waterloo. We talked about how the early struggles have been a theme this year. It was the exact opposite. Their last game came 6 days ago at the Scotiabank Center in Halifax, where they defeated the defending champions, opened the game leading 30-18 after the first quarter. It ended up only being a 1-point game at the half, and able to battle back and maintain it, eventually pull out an enormous win. Very contradictory to how the rest of their games have played out this season. Umapeg's corner 3 is good, and back to a 2-point game.
There we see Umapeg getting in on the offensive action. It's been such a key cog to this Titans offense since joining the team, and there's almost a nice conversion there. Again, not rolling in this time for the Riptide.
Addison couldn't get it to drop off. The nice feed from Wormley. The float of that time, Umapeg no good. Almost gets the loose ball, but into the hands of Double A.
Yeah, tough shot there for Umapeg. Tried the running floater, nowhere near the basket.
Wormley, the step back, can't get it to drop. Long rebound. Blazek has it in transition, has 2 men with him. Blazek driving, floats, and scores.
You can see Umapeg waving for that potential pass, but Blazek head down, went right at the basket in the end, and converted into 2.
Here's Famatimi, works it in the corner for Freeman. Adam Wing on him. Freeman spins away. A difficult shot won't go. Whitfield backing in the paint, tries to spin away from trouble, now throws it up, and 2 shots coming up for Glenn Whitfield.
And just before that, both teams shooting 4 for 11 from the field for 36%. So right idea there by Whitfield to call for that ball inside and make something happen. Now he'll head to the free throw line for the first time tonight.
Anthony Stover checking into the game for St. John, was acquired early in the season last year. A big man, big center out of UCLA.
Whitfield, an 80% free throw shooter, misses his first though.
Whitfield, good, 1 for 2. In that game in Halifax, Whitfield once again led the way. 30 points, 13 rebounds, back-to-back double-doubles. He did it a few days before that as well in Charlottetown, as Wormley pulls up and rattles in the 3. Overall, just an incredible performance from Whitfield, very consistent. That's what Coach Langus said is what he really likes about one of the newer additions to this Titans team is the consistency he brings. Another player who's done that as well since the acquisition, though, Isaiah Umapeg, has been a pleasant surprise, adding a solid balance of scoring.
Absolutely has, and not to mention just ball distribution. He's a pure point guard and kind of brings the attributes that Coach Langus wanted at that spot. They had Adam Blazing. It's a lot of this is playing the point, but they see him more as a pure wing player. So bringing a guy like Umapeg from Seattle University into the fold, they were pretty excited about that.
So I need you to go crazy. I need to hear you yell. Make some noise if you want to see courtside.
During that player of the week stretch, it was Whitfield, who was averaging about 23 points a game and just under 11 boards per game in that East Coast road swing.
And you know what, as much as he's putting up the offensive numbers, I think his ability to be physical in the paint, really, he's built for this league. It's the physicality in this league, everyone knows about it. And chatting with him post-game after putting up a then season high, I believe it was 28 points at that point. I was chatting with him with our post-game interview, and you know, he sounded like a little surprised by how physical it actually was, but that's not to say he has shied away from it at all. And that's been proven by the stats he's been putting up. He's almost embracing it. And not to be outdone, on the Atlantic side of things, it was Costa Mesa, or rather, Gabe Freeman, who was out at Costa Mesa. St. Chad Riptide player. Obviously, 6'6", averaging 29.5 points a game and 12.5 boards, with St. John ripping away 2 wins in that week span, and really helped them lock down that playoff spot I was mentioning at the start of the broadcast.
Wormley, a little crossover up top. He's watched by Umapeg, feeds it inside. Freeman trying to create space, but short on the jumper. Long rebound right back into the hands of Famatimi, and a fresh 24 for St. John. Anderson, the drive, the pass, and Famatimi, the easy finish on the dime for double A.
Famatimi having spent time with Team Canada as well.
Whitfield against Stover, can't get it to drop. That's going to be a tough matchup for Glenn Whitfield. Stover with the slight size advantage. A big wingspan. Loose ball on the baseline will remain St. John ball. And some substitutions coming up for KW. It's George Blakeney.
With the likes of Paul Cooper no longer with the team as well, it's almost been forced their hand a little bit, have the Titans, with going a little smaller on their lineup. And now Blakeney, the other big man on the roster, coming in and kind of out of his realm, having to come out for challenge that 3. Right away, getting burned for it on the coverage.
Left Anderson wide open.
Yep.
He'll make you pay with those. Kalist in the corner. Umapeg back up top. Kalist for 3. Puts it in. Jason Kalist responding to the Anderson triple, and it's back to a 4-point game.
Kalist has been a nice addition off the bench as well for the Titans.
Freeman off balance, won't drop, and it's Kalist with the rebound.
Kalist averaging, or recording double digits in all but 6 of his 19 games thus far with Titans.
Trying to save it out of bounds. Dixon gets it to Kalist, tries a 3, but can't rattle it in. It was almost halfway down. Anderson pulls up for the transition 3, but won't go into the hands of Famatimi on the rebound. And it looks like it was last touched by Kalist, and indeed it was. Give a chance for Chris Commons to check in, a former Windsor Express.
Just you took the words right out of my mouth. One of those late season additions, and much has been made about that, but nonetheless, Commons now finds himself with the Riptide.
That time, Famatimi had it swiped cleanly Umapeg in transition, puts it in. Along 2 for Isaiah Umapeg, and it's 18-16 St. John.
Yeah, right foot just on the line, but nice basket there from Umapeg the other way.
Commons against Dixon. Now Famatimi with 10 on the shot clock, draws a double team up top. Wormley tries to work around the screen, now cuts back inside into the corner. Famatimi for 3, no good.
Wide open look again though. Good switch there, and Famatimi finding himself in the corner all alone, and we have an offensive foul there. Blakeney down low.
Blakeney just looked like he dropped the shoulder, and good job that time by Commons to stand his ground.
And George Blakeney certainly adds size there for the Titans, but not really known for his offensive touch. It's more just adding a presence in the paint there to mix things up. 6 points in the last 2 games though on their East Coast swing in limited minutes.
Anderson got hit on his way down, but no contact. It's actually going to be an offensive foul. It's going to go on Stover, so away from the ball, Stover gets charged with his first.
Back-to-back offensive fouls.
Umapeg again, no good.
I don't mind that take by Umapeg there. He's obviously feeling it a little bit, making his last shot. Why not go for 2? Back-to-back, I should say.
Stover lost the ball at his feet. The Riptide also going for the season series sweep today and take both games. Kalist works it inside that time to Dixon, and he gets bumped.
And a nice dish there on the bounce pass by Kalist. Slight hesitation allowed Blakeney to cut down low. And with that pass just between 2 defenders, high-low pass found his way to Blakeney, and now, or rather to Dixon. And now Dixon at the line for 2.
It's a second foul on Stover, so 2 quick ones on the big man for St. John. With that, Coach Lang is going to bring Greg Morrow into the game. 2 for 2 from the line. Tyrone Dixon ties things up at 18.
For the Titans, number 12, Greg Morrow.
We should also mention, since with all these guys coming off the bench, Ed Horton won't be one of them tonight. His first report by Christine Reve of the Waterloo Region Record, dealing with a lower body injury. Apparently it's a hammy that he's kind of nursing at the moment. Doesn't sound all too serious. Hoping maybe to be back tomorrow, but I put that at 50-50 at best.
Kalist, little stutter step, floats it up, can't get it to go. Not sure if he was looking for someone, but battles and gets his own rebound. A fresh 24, tries a 3, but that won't go. Loose ball, and it's Stover who's able to get 2 hands on it. In transition, Commons lost the basketball. Kalist again forcing the turnover. Davis cuts the D, floats, and won't get it to drop either. A few missed opportunities there for KW. Anderson got a spin away from Davis inside. Stover won't go. Stover a minute ago now, 18 points aside in this opening quarter. Bounce pass down low, what a find, count it, and the foul. A.J. Davis the assist, George Blakeney a chance for a 3-point play.
It's been nice to have A.J. Davis back in the lineup with the Titans after missing time with an injury. Was nursing a leg injury, but he's been kind of eased back into action, which is a good thing. Obviously, they need him for the stretch run, but hopefully as time progresses, he'll add to his workload, and there we see Blakeney converting.
Anderson for 3, no good. And the offensive rebound, though, a good job that time. To clean up the mess by Brown. Brown lost the basketball to go out of bounds, but remain St. John possession. The shot clock reset to 24, so the scorers table take that. They'll say at least 17 left.
And then there again, we see some good active hands from Davis baseline, forcing the mishandle on the basketball.
Anderson open corner, 3 won't go. And Brown battling for the loose ball again. And once again, it'll be St. John basketball.
As soon as I see the Titans praises again, an open look corner 3 right off the inbounds. Can't let that happen.
Stover inside, Commons open, floats it in easily, restores that 1 point Riptide lead. 21-20, 30 seconds to go. About a 10-second differential, game clock, shot clock. Calise floats it over to Dixon. Davis rolling out the right-hand dribble, now watched by Stover, trying to feed that ball down low, and Anthony Anderson gonna get called for his first foul of the evening.
That was really slow in developing. Davis was backing his way beyond the three-point arc, and then Blakeney was working his way down lower into the blocks. Davis was looking at him the entire time, trying to get in the ball, but Blakeney in the end was held up, so it worked out for the Titans. Now Davis will handle the inbounds.
Now a 4.6 differential game clock, shot clock, so the Titans for a high percentage look here to try and take the lead. Calise swings it up top. Morrow with the drive, the difficult shot, and there to block it was Stover. So the shot clock is gone. The Riptide are begging for a 24-second shot clock violation. They're saying there is actually 2 seconds left on the shot clock. So a 4.4 differential here. The Titans will have 2 seconds to get one off. It'll be Davis inbounding.
Stover
up top. Calise fakes, puts it up on time, and puts it in. Calise with the hesitation, still drains it. Anderson at the buzzer is no good. And the Titans lead by 4 after 1.
I'm just going to touch on the presence that Stover adds in the low post, but couldn't do anything defensively in that instance as Calise draining that long distance shot, and the Titans looking good after the opening frame, up by 4 on the Riptide.
Great awareness there from Calise to have time to get the pump fake and get the defender to bite and still get that shot off with time to spare before the horn sounded. Composure to drop it in. A 4-point Titans lead.
We should also mention, as we do in every broadcast, certainly engage us as you're watching this game live on YouTube. We're using the live chat function on the right side of your screen. We'd love to hear your comments, thoughts, anything really to do with tonight's broadcast and basketball game in general. Love to interact whenever possible throughout. Dan Balch along with Ian Jodry. Glad you're tuning in for this one. I suppose a bit of a late start if you're tuning in from out east.
8 p.m. Atlantic time.
Don't you miss those Atlantic times?
Not at all.
Should mention longtime broadcast there out in St. John, now converting the colors to the blue and white this season.
A lot of changes in St. John. Team name and
new ownership, as you were saying before.
New ownership, yeah. Still with Rob Spahn as the head coach. Great to see him back with the team. And great to see the Flint Tropics as well in town.
Pair of gentlemen there, all dressed up, and they've been doing a good job all season of mixing it up. And just a small sample size of the enthusiasm of these KW Titans fans, which really seem to have been building over the course of this season as well. Talked about the Toronto native Olu Famutimi already contributing tonight, but another local product, if you will, out of Oakville, Jamal McQueen on the bench tonight. Former Windsor Lancer. So we'll see whether he'll be checking in at some point this evening.
4-point Titans lead. St. John gets the ball. Start this second quarter. Commons trying to pass in low. Davis has to go off his fingertips and finally secured. Davis cutting through, lost the ball, and In the end, a foul going to be coming up as Blakeney drew it. The St. John reaction said otherwise. The result in a pair of free throws for Blakeney.
Busy night across the NBL of Canada. Aside from this one, 3 other games, one just really starting off between the Windsor Express and London Lightning. Plus the Highlanders really getting beat up by the Island Storm, 90-58. That's in the third with 3 minutes to go. So that one's pretty much all but done and very early. A good one between Niagara and Halifax, though, a 2-point advantage for the River Lions, 58-56, with just over 7 left in the third.
So Halifax, the defending champions, showing some signs of vulnerability over the past week, but if you're a Titans fan, you're certainly cheering for the Hurricanes tonight. You want to hold those River Lions at bay. You want to keep them in the cage. You don't want to let the Lions out.
Certainly don't, as they've been kind of just hanging around as they struggled this season, really. 10-23 on the year. They're still only 5.5 out, or rather 4.5 out of that third spot in the Central Division. So going on a bit of a run and maybe some losses the other side, they could find themselves back in the playoff equation or conversation.
It's really not far behind Orangeville for that 4th and final spot. Blakeney trying to get to it, but second try also no good. Off the steal though, Davis lost it, kicked, and it'll go out of bounds and KW ball.
Both teams protecting the basketball pretty good in the early going of this one. Or pretty well, I should say, with that being only the 5th turnover for the Riptide.
Just making sure everything is good on the official side. A confusing sequence with the change of possession when it's all said and done. 11 minutes to go in the half and a 22-second shot clock for St. John. It was tipped right off the inbound by Aaron Brown, back out of bounds. And that time they floated in. It's Morrow. Davis off the pick and roll, drives in, throws it up, and the block from Anthony Stover. Second try, and they threw it away. Nice play from Stover inside. Got the block and then forced the Titans to throw the ball away. Here's Wormley. He's watched by Morrow. Looking for some help on the screen from Brown, and then he heads out to the wing, and a foul off the ball that time.
An interesting backstory on Wormley, reading up on him before tonight's game, also known as the Gingerbread Man back in the day, because obviously with his 5'6" stature, certainly not the tallest player on the floor, but really has used the other skill sets that he has in terms of, as well as his heart and speed in general, use that to his advantage as much as possible. And you know what they say about the Gingerbread Man. Can't catch him, right? So I think he tries to live the same kind of, I guess, rule, if you will. Bound by the same life rules.
A bit of an odd sequence there in front of the KW bench.
And it was actually a comment by a fellow player back when he was in the Drew League, saying, or one of his players said, you know, catch him if you can, and it just kind of caught on from there is the backstory of that.
Anderson the miss. Loose ball fielded by Dixon, but as I was saying, a weird sequence there. It was Coach Langus who got teed up. He seemed a bit confused, and I believe the ref called it on Coach Langus, even though it was one of his assistants who might have ran their mouth. But regardless, they charged it to the Titans bench, so they'll have to hold at bay, especially with a team that they already have bad blood with. So keep an eye out on that. Checking into the game for St. John, Campbell checking in.
George Blakeney at the line, shooting 2.
Blakeney returning to the line.
Blakeney drops in number 1.
And for those scoring at home, if you will, wearing number 6 tonight is Alex Campbell for the Riptide. Not sure if anyone really scores a basketball game, but hey,
That's tough to
take
do.
note of it. There are diehards out there. You have to respect that.
26-22. As KW extends the lead off the pair of free throws.
Blocked there from A.J. Davis.
Kalist in transition. Holds up around the three-point line. Watched by Anderson. He wants a screen from Blakeney. Kalist gets a separation, kicks it out. Morrow driving inside himself, throws it up high off the window, but can't get it to drop. A rebound by Brown. Anderson to the corner. Campbell, 3, puts it in. Alex Campbell fresh off the bench, and it's a 1-point game.
Nice catch and shoot situation there for the Riptide, who now find themselves only down by 1. Keep hanging around.
Just 3 minutes into the second quarter. Davis lost the ball along the baseline, and it went off him and out. And it'll be Riptide basketball. Anderson into the corner. Brown on the drive, one-hand floater, up, but no good. It will be KW ball.
Both sides mishandling that one as Blakeney. I thought it might have gotten off his left hand before it went out of bounds, but the official says it stays with KW. And if you came here looking for offense, especially in the second quarter, you're not seeing much, obviously. KW now shooting under 30%. St. John not much better at 33.
Whitfield draws the double team, tries to get the pass. It looks like he tried to thread the needle to Dixon, who was down even lower in the post, but forces a turnover. Anderson straightaway 3 is off the mark. It's Whitfield back in transition, but he double dribbled, put the ball on the floor and held. And that'll bring us to a timeout as Coach Spahn wants to talk things over as Riptide has started to gain some momentum. It's just a 26-25 game.
But just 7 points total here in the second quarter with almost 4 minutes gone. Life really has been sucked out of the odd here. So maybe St. John just looking for a bit of a spark more so. It's one thing to be narrowing the gap in terms of the deficit, but they want to go on a bit of a run here on the road. 5 points is not obviously going to get that done in 1 quarter of play. You want to keep that momentum going, and as for Kitchener, they just haven't had that player step up for them yet tonight. So I see the likes of Kalist with 6 points, and a trio with 5 being Blakeney, Blazek, and Umapeg. But even Umapeg's kind of quieted since making a couple early baskets. And here we go, Jackie Moon back on the hardwood. We all know about, well, I thought who was going to go for the granny shot. That's what he was known for. Tropic, with the Tropics, I should say.
Do those tight shorts affect your shooting? You know this is an easy thing for the imagination. I don't know what's going on over there. 10.
Interesting times here at the Titans game.
Very interesting.
During a timeout.
I was just going to mention it's an interesting time for the Titans and their scheduling, a bit of an odd stretch. They go out east, they have their 3 games there, and then they fly home. And they have essentially a whole week off. Not something that you see a whole lot in the course of the schedule. Meanwhile, for St. John, it's the complete opposite, where almost every team in the league makes 2 separate trips to either the Central Atlantic Division. St. John, just 1 big trip. They've been here since April 1st when they came up to play Niagara. They had all 5 Central Division teams in 1 trip.
And for KW with the home stretch here, they're going to have a slew of games here on home court. They won't be doing much traveling at all. Heck of a way to wrap up their inaugural season and maybe even a playoff spot at that.
Campbell for 3 again. That one's no good. fresh off the timeout. Alex Campbell to miss. Jason Calise in the corner for Adam Wing. Work the perimeter, back up to Umapeg, who's checked back into the game. Umapeg pulls up for three. He can't get it to go. Brown, the right-hand drive, throws it up off the window and in. And the Riptide have taken a 27-26 lead in the early stage of the second quarter.
Nice decision there from Brown. Got some spacing and took advantage of it.
Umapeg back to Wing. He's watched by Commons. He lost the ball, and a foul is going to be called on Commons. That's number 1 on him.
I'd like to see more of that from Aaron Brown, 6'5", 223, taking it right at Isaiah Umapeg, just 6 foot 195, so a clear size advantage. Some added muscle there on his frame for Brown. Steps up now to guard Davis.
Blazik almost lost that ball off the pass. 5 to shoot. Blazik draws a foul, wisely throws up a tough shot. He had Addison draped all over him, and he's going to get called for his 3rd foul of the evening.
And was that you with the highest bid for the Adam Blazik commemorative jerseys
I
on that silent auction?
I fell just short at 505.
That was great to see the amount of support for that initiative. KW Titans wearing some camouflage 3rd jerseys in commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the Battle of Vimy Ridge.
I see one out there tonight.
Yeah, the Titans doing their part to recognize that historic event.
Blazik, 1 for 2 at the line. Unlike him, the team's best free throw shooters at 84%, ties the game at 27. Commons in the corner against Wing. Commons trying to back his way down low in the post. Foul, and it's actually going to be 5-second violation against the Riptide.
Not too often you see that. Nonetheless, Adam Wing did a good job defensively, not backing down as the Riptide player was trying to do so.
Davis into the corner. Blazik, open 3, puts it in.
I almost thought Blazik waited a little too long setting up for that 3. A lot of high arc on that one.
Definitely allowed the defender to close in pretty quickly, but a great job.
Talk about high arc. Too much for Brown to get up on that. And they're going to say it was tipped, in fact, on a pass attempt, cross-court pass attempt. And there we see the gingerbread man, Wormley, come back on. Love that nickname. I appreciate
nickname.
those kind of nicknames a lot more. You don't see that as much today, where there's actual backstories behind them. Too often you see these nicknames where you just added a Y to the end of them.
Did you have a nickname in your days playing sports?
I was one of the Twin Towers in my high school basketball days. Myself and a gentleman by the name of Noel Topofsky. We were the tallest guys on the team at that point.
Well, it's no gingerbread man, but it's something.
Hey, like I said, backstory, right? There's a bit of something.
It's all about the backstory. 32-27. KW with the lead here. Anderson trying to respond, draws a double team in the corner. Has Commons down the middle and Freeman with some action in the paint. Brings it back up top. Commons, he's watched by Whitfield. 5 to shoot. Commons puts it up and puts it in over Flenn Whitfield, and it's back to a 3-point game. Umapeg tries his luck from downtown and drops in another. Isaiah Umapeg having a heck of a start tonight. 8 points for him. That's his 2nd triple. And it's a 6-point Titans lead.
I'd love for him to get going. If he's going to be a catalyst for this team, why not?
Wormley trying to respond. Off the mark. Rebound up in the air, and Davis 2 hands on it. In transition as Umapeg in the corner almost lost it, gets hit hard, and a foul going to be called there. It looks like it's going to go on Freeman, and indeed it is. Gabe Freeman. It's his first of the evening. Sutherland back into the game, had a rough first quarter, missed all 4 shots, 2 of them from beyond the arc, and picked up a foul, but has showed promise in a few games as of late, including that game in Halifax where he had 13 points and shot 60% from the field. An offensive foul the other way.
The charge being called.
The Riptide up in
Freeman.
arms.
Yep. Freeman's none too happy with that call.
It's actually going to go on Commons, which is even more costly than Freeman, as Commons now picks up his third foul of the evening. 4:40 to go. Umapeg drops it off. Whitfield flying in, but can't get it to drop.
Have to convert those.
Now the Riptide have numbers. Wing trying to stick himself between them, flies up there. Did he force the turnover? He did. Didn't get a piece of it, but was able to get in the way as much as he could have. Gabe Freeman. The Riptide had a clear-cut 2-on-1, and Wing did a great job to bring it back the other way.
You know, it was, good things coming out of that botched play almost. Wing trying to just get up and deflect it away, and I think just by his body flying through the air, distracted Freeman and really blocked any sort of chance of him getting that pass in.
Blazek tries a tough left-hand layup, but can't drop it in. 35-29, Riptide trail by 6. Famatimi, a whistle. It's on Sutherland. It'll be a push. That's just his second of the evening, and the Titans have just 2 in the quarter, so still a couple to give before the break. 14 to shoot though. Freeman watched by Wing. Off the inbound. Shot clock down to 10. Freeman throws it up, gets it to roll. Difficult shot by Gabe Freeman. It's a 2-possession game.
Proving why right there, why he's the conference player of the month.
Whitfield, the offensive foul. He had looked like a picture-perfect play as Umapeg floated in and threw it down with authority.
And Coach Lang is wondering whether the hold was identified first by the official, and clearly not. If there was one. Now turnover by the Riptide.
Sutherland in transition. Winnipeg. Nope, not going to go. Foul away from the ball. Looks like it went on Brown, not Freeman.
We're also in a bonus situation now with that foul, with 3:38 to go in the half, so ideal for the Titans. We should also mention the officials here this evening. It's Jeff Astles, Chris Delaney, and Victor Young. Crew chief being Jeff Astles.
Sutherland this year shooting about 68% from the free throw line, puts in number 1. Titans still with 3 fouls to give before the break. 3.5 left in this first half. Sutherland 1 for 2 from the line. Freeman trying to spin away from trouble. Ball's on the floor. Wing and Blazek both getting in there. Ball's loose. Blazek has it. And another turnover forced. That's the 9th of the half by the Riptide. Umapeg a deep 3, but can't put it in.
I tell you what, that was some good secondary defense there just before the Titans went up the floor. It looked like Freeman had beaten Wing on the crossover, but Sutherland at the last second with a reach in. But there we have a foul call. Titans are saying travel, but no. The official coming over on the hit and going to the line. It's going to be, is it Anderson? Yes, Anderson going to the line.
Anderson, the team's leading scorer with about just under 24 points a game and averaging 83%. The free throw line puts number 1 in.
Certainly one of those main reasons why they just ran off a 6-game win streak and winners of
7 of 9.
7 of 9, exactly. But not to be outdone, they've been doing a great job on the defensive end. Have the Riptide. We'll touch on that a little later.
Sutherland coast to coast and finishes off that left-hand layup. And that'll be his first field goal of the evening. It's a 5-point lead. Famatimi steps around the defense into the corner. Wormley the triple, well short. It's an air ball. And Whitfield wants to slow things down with the pass into the backcourt. 2.5 minutes ago, Umapeg explodes and scores the other way. Timeout, St. John. As Isaiah Umapeg, coast to coast, finishes it off. It's the biggest lead of the night for the Titans. They're up 7.
As he's the lone player in double digits now with 10 after that latest bucket. Game high scorer with the 10 points and the 1 assist on 3 for 7 shooting. Just looking to keep his team's offense going because otherwise it's been slow tonight for the Titans. Just 40 points in the first half and 12 in this quarter alone. Only 3:06 remaining in the first half. I don't know about you, but this lack of flow, offensive flow anyways, as a fan of the game, not the most appealing brand of basketball.
You're a fan?
Gotta be. Gotta be to call these games.
It certainly is not the ideal situation for a fan who obviously likes to see lots of scoring, but as you mentioned earlier, give the Riptide full credit on the defensive end. They've been able to hold their ground, and they've got the kind of build of a team to do it, whether it's Freeman or Commons. Anthony Stover, a big presence. If it weren't for his foul trouble early on, as we mentioned, a shot blocker specialist out of UCLA.
He's a 4-star recruit out of high school before, as you said, spending time with UCLA. If you're looking to do something on Easter Sunday, obviously tomorrow, Titans have a 2 p.m. tip-off, so quick turnaround for KW. And for those locally who might know Mike Farwell, he's the radio voice of the OHL's Kitchener Rangers. Also has a cystic fibrosis campaign that he does every year. Gotta certainly tip the cap to him. Family affected by that terrible disease, and now taking matters in kind of into his own hands, trying to raise funds for cystic fibrosis research and awareness. And they're calling it Cystic Fibrosis Day against the Lightning tomorrow afternoon. He'll be here promoting his Farwell for Hire program. So make sure to come on out, not only support the Titans, but support Mike Farwell for that one.
Brown puts in number 1. Anthony Brown in his 12 games at St. John this year, shooting 81% from the charity stripe, but off the mark on number 2. Freeman, the rebound, can't score on that. Cavell Johnson was able to get in there, make sure there wasn't any farther damage done. Umapeg thought about it. He's gonna pull away with less than 2 minutes to go now in the half. Umapeg up top, wing, catch and shoot 3, won't go.
Touched about every part of that rim.
Anderson, the behind the back dribble, lost it. Blazek the steal. Wing in transition. Fresh off the missed 3, difficult shot, won't go. So Wing misses back-to-back shots. Now Freeman back the other way, readjusts, but can't score, gets his own rebound, and does that time. It's a 4-point game.
A second chance opportunity and a mismatch as well, both going Freeman's way in that instance. Blazek trying to do his best from behind, but Freeman with the putback.
1:20 to go in the half. Umapeg misses the long 2. St. John with a chance to make it a 1-point or 2-point game. Step back, won't go. Freeman the rebound, and Gabe Freeman eating up some glass and getting some second chance points. Another bucket for Gabe Freeman, and it's 40-38 Kitchener-Waterloo.
The Atlantic Division Player of the Week doing work right now. Back-to-back buckets. They haven't come easy though. He's really had to grind down low. Full marks on both efforts.
1 minute to go in the half. Kitchener-Waterloo, right after taking their biggest lead of the night at 7, have surrendered a 5-0 run of their own. Anderson in transition scores, and it's a tie game. 40-40, what a turn of events. And indeed, Coach Langus has seen enough as that 7-point lead has evaporated.
Frustrated is one word for it, to be sure. A couple unfamily-friendly terms as his team headed back towards the bench. It's those defensive lapses that have come back to bite KW in the rear end here with 49.3 remaining in the first half. Happen all too often and have resulted in many of those 19 losses they've experienced this season. If they could just kind of clean that up and round out their game, I think they'd be in a lot better shape. And I'm sure Coach Lang was hoping to see that even more so in the home stretch of this season. Still time left, but you can ill afford to keep having these mental lapses, especially when you go into the playoffs where really you can't have them at all.
No room for that, especially if you're playing one of these tough teams. Hell, making the playoffs in the Central Division, we mentioned how crucial it is to try and stay out of that 4 spot that the Orangeville A's currently occupy.
Not to mention that, but going into hostile territory down at the Budweiser Gardens in London.
Umapeg, Wing, Johnson, Blazik, and Sutherland back on the court for KW to end the half. Johnson backing in the post, lost the basketball. A turnover right out of the timeouts. Famatimi spins away from Blazik, pass down low into the corner. And they'll work around the perimeter, pass inside. Great job to find Commons. He scores, and the Riptide, a 9-0 run, have given themselves the lead.
Fantastic ball movement on that last sequence, and heck of a pass down low. Just zipped in there, and KW now searching for answers, down by 2 all of a sudden.
Shot clock off, so the Titans can tie or take the lead. Their final possession of the half, Sutherland drives, puts it up, and 2 free throws coming up for Sutherland. And they left 2.4 seconds on the clock for the Riptide.
Famatimi's first.
Mentioned Sutherland this year, shooting around 68%, drops in number 1. Two for 2, tie game at the buzzer. No good that time, as Horace Wormley, the gingerbread man, could not knock that one down. 42-42. The Riptide coming from behind to end that half, and just shows you how quickly things can change just when it looks like KW starts to get comfortable and give themselves some breathing room. St. John right there with them.
Absolutely, and thanks to Gabe Freeman on that last run as well. Just starting to get going. Titans can ill afford to let that go for an extended period of time.
42-42 at the half. We'll bring you the second half. About 15 minutes here from the Odd.
shots as possible. So let's get those hands clapping. Give Kane some energy.
all tied up 42-42. The second half just about to get underway here in Kitchener. Ian Jodry and Dan Paulchuk here with you on this Saturday night here from the Odd. It's the rematch of that heated battle from Harbor Station back on February 23rd, where there was more than 52 games, suspensions, and $13,000 of fines issued. No fireworks yet here tonight, but a tight affair. Offense, though, has been at a premium.
Certainly has been. KW shooting just under 31%. St. John not much better at 36. But fortunately for them, they got a bit of a run helped by the likes of Anthony Anderson and Gabe Freeman. Lone two players in double digits for the Riptide. And now we enter the third quarter, tied at 42.
Whitfield, the long jumper, puts it in and gives the Riptide their first lead of the break, and gives Brian Addison a little love tap the other way, chuckling with them on their way back down the floor. 44-42.
Isaiah Umapeg leading KW scorers with 10.
Inside, and nice move in the post that time to score by Olu Famatimi.
Anderson pulling a game-high 24 minutes down in that first half, too, interestingly enough.
Famatimi back the other way, fresh off the game-tying bucket. Is watched by Umapeg, feeds it down low, little give and go, and it finds Addison again, 5 on the shot clock. Famatimi puts up a off-balance shot, and Sutherland, who comes down with the miss. Shamar Sutherland going to go one-on-one with the gingerbread man, but misses the floater.
Going down with...
Oh, and Sutherland still down.
Took a knock in the face, looks like, from Brian Addison as they got tangled up.
Back the other way, though. Sutherland recovered against the ball, into the corner. Wing stepped out. And it's been an issue a few times this year for Adam Wing. Where
I was going to say the exact same thing. That's not the first time we've seen that kind of a lapse in recognition of where he's at on the floor.
Seems to have happened multiple times where there's so much room around him. See why you feel the need to stand that far off the three-point line. Brings back memories of that overtime loss to London, where that cost the Titans a chance to pull away in the dying seconds of the fourth quarter.
There's a nice bucket from Addison over top of KW Titans player guarding him there.
Whitfield backing in, puts it off the window, but off the mark. And there's Famatimi for the board. St. John back up 2. Both teams have not had a lead larger than 7 on either side. Addison rattles out on the long jumper.
Chris Collins not happy at all with the official. He's jawing with him as he still had the ball in his possession. I think he felt he was fouled, but now is he going to get burned for the foul call here? No, but Thomas still looking for a conversation with the official over here, Chris Delaney. Not sure if it's worth the effort to burn at this point. Blazing missing his first.
Blazik good on the second. Had a bit of troubles from the free throw line tonight. Now 2 for 4. And that pulls him back within 1. And then it's Wormley gave a shove to Blazik, but it's Blazik who's going to get charged for the blocking foul.
And there again, we see an example of what Wormley talks about in using his lack of size, I guess, to his advantage. Just get some good foot speed. Started off slow, sped up, and by that point, he got the angle on Blazik. Blazik playing him a little too tight.
Anderson on a nice cut. The floater gets it to drop.
Showing why he was a former MVP right there.
Umapeg, the bullet pass. Blazik, the pump fake in the corner up top. Wing, the 3. It's good. can't step out of bounds if you're straight away, and that time it's Adam Wing tying the game at 48.
Certainly a safer spot on the floor for him there.
A 3 off the mark that time from Famatimi. KW looking to take the lead here. Tremar Sutherland into the corner. Blazek, pump fake, drive. Tries to swing it inside, and it's Flenard Whitfield finishing it off.
Love that head fake there from Blazek. Drove baseline, and then the trailer Whitfield crashed in the paint. Little handoff there from Blaze, and the easy 2 for Whitfield in the end.
And that pass intercepted by Blazek. Back-to-back turnovers. Whitfield the other way, and the one-hand jam.
We haven't mentioned Whitfield's name as often as we have in his latest spurt of games. He's been held in check pretty effectively by the Riptide. Might be coming undone here in the last couple of trips.
Anderson trying to get that screen from Addison. The step back with a hand in his face, and 2 shots coming up as it's Sutherland called for the foul.
Foul is on the Titans. Number 9, Tremar Sutherland, his third, team's second.
Interesting of note, we've got 2 former University of Arkansas Razorbacks on both sides. Already Olu Famatimi. We've mentioned his name more than a few times. Tremar Sutherland also spending 2 years with University of Arkansas. And both obviously Toronto natives too.
Off the turnover, Anderson has it poked away. Sutherland driving and floats it in. Speak of the devil.
How's that for setting that up?
It's the former Razorback dropping it in and giving KW the 6-point lead. Wormley, watched by Umapeg. Gets a screen from Madison. Wormley with a step back J. It's going to be short, trying to tip it home. Whitfield trying to get to the loose ball, and he was the last one to touch it, so it'll be St. John possession.
So it was being tipped all over the place. A couple players there battling for it. Whitfield being the last one to touch it.
Commons, the pump fake off 3, and then right back to Famatimi inside for the easy lay-in.
Just confusion all around there as easy as they come for the Riptide.
Sutherland had it poked away on the drive, but cleanly, so it'll still be Titans basketball. Sutherland in the corner, Blazek 3, but he stepped out of bounds again. Both Wing and Blazek have committed turnovers in that exact same fashion tonight.
Have to know where you're on the floor at all times. Fortunately for KW, just 4 points off of turnovers tonight for the Riptide. Not taking advantage of those 10 turnovers by the Titans have the Riptide.
Commons tries a 3, but can't get it to go as Wing pulls down the rebound. Umapag the other way, leaves it for Blazek. That time he's in bounds, and that time he knocks it down. 57-50.
Hey, good things happen when you stay in bounds, right?
Anderson waits, and Addison trying to spin away from him in the post. Watched by Whitfield. Addison, the drive, throws up an awkward-looking shot. As Whitfield goes tumbling into the first row, he'll pick up the foul.
As he was just never able to stop his momentum from carrying forward and to set his feet in time. So good recognition there by Addison. Right at him, and now we'll look to take advantage with a pair of free throws.
Addison, in 35 games this year, shooting exactly 50% from the free throw line. 34 for 68, and we get 35 for 69.
KW did have their game-high lead of 7 points just a moment ago before that free throw. As Addison is looking to chip away into that, he does so with a pair from the charity stripe. Blakeney and Davis coming back in to replace Sutherland and Whitfield.
Umapeg Gonna take that one himself. Back out. Blazek lost it at his feet, but still 15 to shoot. Blazek thinks about it and gives it to Davis. Drives baseline, the reverse, and puts it in. Nice play by A.J. Davis on the reverse finish. And it's back to a 7-point Kitchener lead. Anderson trying to work around Blazek. Difficult off-balance shot, and he puts it off the window. And Anthony Anderson having a night with 16 points, shooting 6 for 13 from the floor.
Was able to shake off Blazek just enough to work it to the left and switch hands on that lay-in. Pretty play there from Anderson.
Blazek looking for that pass down low, intercepted. Olu Famatimi in transition and fouled right around midcourt by Adam Blazek.
And I think that's his third personal for Blazek. Yes, it is, with 13 points. And that was just a sequence. I think there's a little bit of frustration involved too. Getting burned by Anderson on one end of the floor, and then Blazek, after the ball was turned over, just trying to get back. And again, like I said, some emotion is getting into it a little bit.
59-54. Once again, Kitchener has held that 7-point lead in the first half, and then a few times in the early stages of the second half. Haven't been able to get past that, though. The Riptide staying right there with them despite a shorter than usual bench. Facing, of course, some suspensions and some injuries in their very long Ontario road trip.
Taking a look across the NBL Canada scores across the league tonight. Some good news for the Titans as the Hurricanes were able to overcome the River Lions and defeat them by 10, 102-92. The Lightning currently up on the Windsor Express, 45-32. That's late in the second quarter, 4:08 to go. And talked about the Island Storm, we're up big on Cape Breton, and that certainly was the end result. 129-91, the final now.
Winning number 17655 reports from Boston Pizza Fan Services behind Section 3. You have until 6 minutes in the fourth quarter to claim your prize.
And the Titans will get those same Island Storm next Sunday. Looking to sweep the season series. After picking up that win in Charlottetown last Friday on another double-double performance from Glenn Whitfield. Anderson rolling out to his left. He's watched by Wing.
Blazek got a double-double on that one, too.
Freeman spinning, throws it up off the window and in, and it's a 3-point game. Khalees fresh off the bench, dishes, Umapeg 3, bang! Isaiah Umapeg puts it in. Anderson trying to shake the D, floats it back inside, and it looks like it's going to be a travel that time, and indeed the turnover from Aaron Brown.
Yeah, the odds of that happening with how much traffic there was down low. That's a tough pass from Anderson, just trying to make something happen. Ran into a wall of white jerseys.
Davis, the move in the post and the block. Addison got up there, and then with a finger wag.
With emphasis as that went into the first row and then bounced a couple more behind. Addison flying into the play to make a nice swat.
And then knock down some of the advertisements in the front row. Blakeney, the miss.
Very British of you to call them advertisements, by the way, too.
I forget who did that. There was one broadcaster in North America who called the advertisements advertisements, paying tribute to him. I believe it's Rod Smith. 62-56, 4:29 to go. Umapeg, the corner 3, but off the mark that time. St. John within 6. Neither team has trailed by more than 7. Freeman against Khalees, puts it up and drops it in. Freeman having a strong showing of his own. He's got 15 points to go along with 6 boards. In the paint, scoring plus the foul. George Blakeney almost takes out the official on the way through.
Bit of a bear hug there as he nearly fell down, but Blakeney. Good strong move. After the bucket from Freeman at the other end.
With Addison picking up yet another foul, they're going to bring in another big man, and Anthony Stover try and fill that void down low.
And Addison leaves the ballgame having recorded his 26th block of the year. Second on the team in that category. Stover really leading that category, running away with it with 61 entering tonight's action. 61 blocks on the year, that's pretty darn good.
That's what they brought him in to do. He certainly executed. Once again, a 7-point KBW lead. They floated up, Stover couldn't bring it down. Didn't like that pass from Wormley.
And now he's staring down the official or something. I thought at first he was staring down Wormley, but as he made his way to the free throw line, looking at the official.
Must have wanted some contact. Pulling up, off the mark that time as Brown couldn't get it to drop. Caliste back the other way against Anderson, leaves it. Davis thought about it and traveled. He walked, dragged that pivot foot, and will result in another turnover. That's the 13th tonight for KW.
And Davis showing his frustration with that. A couple hard dribbles into the hardwood. He knows he has to be better.
Anderson, and there it is, the offensive foul. It's going to be called that time on Freeman. And Gabe Freeman picking up just his second foul tonight. It's someone they can't have getting into foul trouble. Him and Anderson both stayed limited there. It's been the big men that have had trouble. Addison's on the bench with 4, Stover playing now with 3.
Well, with the 30 points between those two, or almost 30 points, I should say. 31 points. This game would certainly be out of hand if it weren't for both Anderson and Freeman. That one.
Oh, that'll be off.
Certainly be a goaltending charge.
That'll certainly be goaltending there as left Blakeney wide open. Put the shot in. Took a while to go down.
Why even attempt that? I'm not even sure. Just let it roll. See where it happens. Or see where it ends up.
If you think you're going to get away with the ref not seeing it, then that's
sorely
basically
mistaken.
what all eyes are on at that moment.
There's another 1,500 eyes here, or sets of eyes.
Freeman thought about it, tries a 3. We can't get that one to drop. The front rim, and hustling in for the rebound was Wormley, looking for the pass and low, kicked by Blakeney. So a fresh possession for St. John, and also their biggest deficit of the game is now Kitchener-Waterloo up 9.
Titans trying to claw their way back in to 500, which they haven't been since really the early part of their campaign. I think since game number 4. So it's been a while, and certainly would be an accomplishment considering how much change there has been with the look of the Titans this year.
Freeman, the turnaround J, drops it in. Nice play from Freeman. Back to a 7-point game. Caliste rolling out off the screen out to Davis. Davis, the 3, way off the mark. And Stover there for the board. Freeman gets that screen from Stover, drives up with the right hand, puts it in, plus the foul. He gave Freeman a chance to bring it back to a 4-point game.
And not even 2 KW Titans defenders can do anything about that. Freeman taking it right at him. And he's fired up, as you can see him with a couple exclamation marks after the bucket. Still hearing it from the KW faithful here. But he's got the upper hand at the moment. A pretty looking play, now a chance at a 3-point play.
Freeman, the 78% free throw shooter, missed that one. He averages about 23 points a game and has 17 so far tonight to go along with 6 boards. So almost on double-double watch. Caliste contested 3 in the corner, won't go. Davis fighting hard for that rebound, but it looks like it's going to be Davis who gets the foul. Indeed it will.
As he was the late one crashing in. Anthony Anderson had position underneath the basket. Right call by the official there.
Inside the 2-minute mark of this third quarter. Anderson against Calise, dishes over to Freeman. Freeman trying to cross him up, puts up the long two, won't go. Long rebound, Stover battling for in the corner, and it will be KW ball. Calise pulls up for the triple, and won't go. And Stover climbing the ladder again for the board. That's number 4 for him. Anderson in transition draws the double team in the corner. Good trap from the Titans, and Anderson wisely throws it off Calise. Now it's just a veteran play right there. A veteran athlete here in this league.
Absolutely, great heads-up play there. Identifies the fact that he's stuck, nowhere to go, and just bank it off the leg of the defender and reset this thing.
8 to shoot. Anderson off the screen. Up top, Freeman the open triple. No good. Loose ball on the baseline, and it'll go back to the Titans.
Titans can't settle here. It seems like they have in the last couple of trips up the floor. There you go.
Blakeney with the pump fake. He's working on his fellow zero in Stover and draws the foul. That's number 4 on Stover. So both Addison and the UCLA product, the big men running in some foul trouble here before the fourth quarter.
If you can take them out of the equation, certainly would be an added bonus if you're a Titans player.
Blakeney, good on number 1, making his 16th appearance for the Titans, where he shot 61% from the free throw line over those 12 games.
Blakeney knows his bread and butter. Just work it down low, try and draw those fouls. I was going to say capitalize, but he didn't there. 1 for 2 on his latest trip.
1 for 2, long rebound into the hands of Anderson. Trying to work around the behind the back dribble. Step back over. Blazik and puts it in. Anthony Anderson again. He's got 18. Caliste looking for that screen from Blakeney. Caliste holds up. Over to Blazik. The right-hand dribble, tries to work baseline, drives back up top. Caliste again, lost the ball on the floor. Anderson scoops it up along the sideline, taking it end to end. Anderson in the block that time. What a play from Dixon. And back the other way come the Titans. Blakeney, Davis, lost the ball. And that'll do it for the third quarter. A bizarre sequence to end the frame.
That's one word to use for sure.
Yes, if you're the Titans, you didn't get hurt. You ended up outscoring the Riptide by 4 in that third quarter. Had a lead by as many as 9. Neither team really getting a huge lead on either end of the court.
No, it's much of the same old Titans with their highest offensive output in a quarter here tonight with the 26 in the third, but they'll certainly need to attack the rim and not allow the Riptide obviously to go on any extended runs. As soon as they start settling for those long distance shots, it's all been setting them up for a potential offensive spurt. Another reminder, Titans back in action Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. tip-off as they welcome their 401 rival, the London Lightning, into town. Good ball games already between the two teams, although London has had the upper hand between the two squads. But to KW's credit, they have now defeated both the defending league champions and last year's league finalists in the Lightning in the same season. Didn't have to wait long to do that. So another notch on their belt in their inaugural campaign. Coach Langus will certainly tell you it doesn't mean all too much at the end of the day. But something to build on.
And it's just the Riptide now that are left of teams that they have yet to defeat in the league. They've gotten a win against every other team. Of course, they dropped part one of the St. John KW series at Harbor Station back in February. Riptide looking to sweep the season series. If not, KW will have notched wins against every team in the country with the win tonight.
And of note, Anthony Anderson has played every second of this ball game. Just checking on that stat sheet, 36 minutes, 18 points. We've talked about that part of it, but pulling down every second of this ball game, wow. Not too often you see that.
He's a workhorse.
Yeah,
I'll
absolutely.
tell you, that's something that you see all the time in St. John, especially when it comes to the late season push. Especially at his age now, a very impressive feat for
a smile on his face, though, coming out of that inbounds pass. Gotta love it from the vet.
Anderson over to Brown. The jump shot is good. Count the dime for double A. That'll be his fifth.
With a long two.
Just like that, 1 point game, 68-67. Kitchener-Waterloo holds the lead here in the early stages of the fourth. It's Davis, Caliste, Dixon, Blazek, and Blakeney on the floor for the Titans. Davis tries to split the D, but lost the ball. It's Stover who forced a turnover. Freeman trying to burn them all to the outside. Freeman can't get it to go, but the follow-up just as good. There was Alex Campbell. And just like that, the Riptide have tied it up at 68. Caliste the three, no good. Blakeney the rebound and scores. Nice play from George Blakeney.
Johnny on the spot, the big number 0 in the right spot to gather in that rebound. On Caliste miss. Blakeney now up to 13.
Anderson tried to drop it there for Stover, but comes all the way back up top. Freeman, 5 on the shot clock. Freeman against Davis. Freeman called, actually drew the foul. It's going to go on Davis. And he fouled him with 1 second on the shot clock, and that's a good way to upset your coach. So they put 14 up there. Freeman having to laugh at the official along the sideline. 10 on the shot clock. Anderson trying to get that screen from Stover, but watched closely by Caliste. Campbell tries a contested 3, but he's well short and into the hands of Davis. Inside, the nice pass, Davis. Dixon, the block though from Stover. Right there to send the big man back where it came from. Davis in transition, how about another one? Anthony Stover.
It looked like Davis was going for the emphatic slam, and Stover just out of nowhere swatting it aside. But you know what, credit Dixon on that play. He kept it alive for the Titans. Even on the miss, just kept on tipping and pursuing, and that results in a 3 when all is said and done.
Blazek puts them back up 5, 73-68. Kitchener with the lead here. 10 minutes to go in this one. Campbell, little crossover, steps in the paint, floats it up and called for the travel. Looked like it was going to be a beautiful move, and Freeman is furious on the bench. Caliste the bounce pass down low to Blakeney. He has loads of time. He's going to back his way in the post. Blakeney over Stover, won't go, grabs the offensive rebound out to Caliste for 3. No good.
You can see Stover's playing careful right now, carrying those handful of fouls with a 4. He still wants to be a factor for the rest of this ball game.
Anderson weaving through, puts it up off the window and in. Anthony Anderson cutting through the defense like a hot knife through butter, and it's a 3-point game again.
Up to 20 now, but keep going for Blakeney. Go inside, attack big number 0 down low.
Blazek misses the 3, loose ball, and able to get 2 hands on it was Commons. Anderson just past the 20 mark, and an offensive foul going to be called that time.
Commons.
It's number 4 on Commons, so getting limited in those big men. Famatimi checks back into the game. Stover still on, playing with 4 fouls, and he's made a few key blocks here down the stretch.
Some of the bench coming on here for the Riptide, as well as the Titans, as Blazing heads off. Umapeg, haven't seen him in a while, back on.
Kalist pulls up, knocks down to Jay, restores the 5-point lead.
Excuse me there, Ian, that's his bread and butter, as I was saying right there. A couple dribbles to either his left or the right, and just setting up for that 10-foot jumper from the elbow extended.
Cutting through, Anderson throws it up, and 2 free throws coming up for Anthony Anderson. He's already got 20 tonight. Hasn't been too hot at the free throw line at 2 for 5 from the stripe.
Yeah, Sutherland got burned on that play, just reaching in desperation from behind. He knew it right away.
Anderson drops in number 1. Anderson, 2 for 2.
Technical foul assessed to Riptide's number 34, Chris Commons.
Commons with the technical. Not sure what happened there. If there's a time to take a technical, it's not when your own team's shooting free throws.
He's been going at it all night, just constantly jawing at the officials, having something to say, and in the end, it's burned him now. Now he's getting a word from his head coach, Rob Spahn. And if he continues this trend, he's going to continue that conversation from the bench. There's a time and place for that sort of stuff, but it's not helping your cause. Why keep going?
Dixon leaves it for Kalist. Kalist against Commons, the right-hand dribble, kicks it out. Dixon, the 3, won't go. Loose ball on the floor. Anderson trying to get to it, but it's Whitfield who comes up with the loose basketball.
Hey, hustle's contagious, as we saw now. Sutherland diving for it, keeping the play alive, and the ball in the hands of the Titans.
Umapeg, and then the 3 that time in and out from Whitfield.
Big man can shoot it. We've seen him drain that 3 before.
Looking to bring it back to a 1-possession game are the Riptide. Commons spins and scores in the paint, and a nice move along the baseline to work around Dixon.
Absolutely, nice spin down low, as you said. Not much real estate down there. Now we have a whistle. Dixon's getting a word from the official.
Well, Dixon was talking to the official when he should have been inbounding the basketball. The clock was running. You don't want to get a 5-second violation in that case. But it looks like Coach Lang's going to make the move, let Dixon go cool down on the bench. Cavell Johnson will check into the game. Kalist gets a screen that time from Whitfield. Johnson, the pass to Whitfield, beautiful dime.
Tough pass by Cavell Johnson. Kind of holding my breath on that one, as it had to go past 2 Riptide jerseys to find the hands of Whitfield down low.
And then it's Johnson with the steal on the other end. The beautiful assist for the score, and then the steal, but Umapeg turns it over himself. Wormley fouled by Umapeg, and not a good sequence of events by Isaiah Umapeg. Turns it over and then called for the foul.
With the Titans with fouls to give. Smart play there by Umapeg, just to slow the pace, as the Riptide did have numbers. Allows the Titans to reset here defensively and get organized.
Commons, he's watched by Johnson, tries a 3, but well off the mark is Sutherland there for the board. Whitfield pulls up for the open tray and drops it in. He said the big man could shoot it. Flynn Whitfield makes it a 7-point game.
He certainly can, and he certainly didn't hesitate there, as Whitfield drains his 13th three-pointer of the season.
Famatimi backing in against Umapeg. That's a mismatch. won't lead to a bucket. Commons couldn't bat at home either. The Titans hold the Riptide in check on that possession. Umapeg, the drive, kicks out. Kalise, corner, three. No. Just over the board. Right around the midway mark of this fourth quarter, Anderson trying to cut the D, throws up a difficult shot, won't get it to roll. Poke back out on the long rebound, but right to Horace Wormley. 6 to play. Wormley, the three. Won't go, and Whitfield the board.
And Coach Lang is telling them play control right now.
Sutherland, the drive, kick out, Whitfield again. That one's no good. Home run pass ahead. Anderson trying to beat Whitfield with the speed. Anderson stops, kicks back outside for Wormley, and they'll reset. Famatimi tries a three and drops it in. Olu Famatimi, 9 points. He's one shy of a double-double. His first triple in 5 attempts. And it's a 4-point game here at the Odd.
Smooth looking shot, might have taken him a while, but nothing but net on that one.
Johnson trying to respond, but off the mark, over the board. And St. John once again a chance to make it a one-possession game.
Exactly what I'm talking about here. KW just pulling up for long-distance shots.
Anderson misses the step-back three. Huge stop there for the Titans. Kaliste against Wormley. Whitfield thought about it, drives in, pass it behind the back. What a pass to Johnson, but missed the layup.
That would be highlight of the week to be sure, and that one's gonna fall.
It won't count. There was an unsporting signal on the play, but they've counted the basket and they will count it. 81-79. The question is, will it be a chance at a three-point play? Kalise charged with the unsporting foul.
And they're saying he put his arms around Wormley as he went up.
That'll lead to a chance for a three-point play. Wormley, and it's 81-80.
Horace Wormley good on the free throw.
Now the official's going to come over and talk to the scorer's table. And a timeout on the floor.
To our media timeout.
Here, as with 4:45 to go, we have ourselves a one-point ball game.
And it looked like they were about to give St. John the ball back, so if that's the case, a huge swing of events. They get the three-point play plus the ball back and a chance to take the lead. 81-80, not your typical score that you might see here at a Titans game, where offense has been limited.
Certainly has been. As you might see more offense out of this gentleman at half court right now, trying to attempt a shot for $1,000.
For $1,000, let's see it. Brian!
Ooh. I wish I recorded that one.
Well, if you want a synopsis of how the offense is going, there you have it.
Do you want to tell Brian that he didn't make the team?
I'll leave it to you.
81-80. The Titans will come out of the timeout with 2 more fouls to give St. John with 4. Back onto the court for KW. Cavell Johnson, Glenn Whitfield, Tremar Sutherland, Isaiah Umapeg, and Jason Kalise, who just picked up that unsporting foul. Sutherland, the only Titan really in any foul trouble with 4. There's a few of them with 3, Whitfield and Blazik. On the other side for St. John, though, Chris Commons playing with 5 fouls. He's checking back into the game. Anthony Stover has 4 fouls. He will start on the bench out of the timeout, but Brian Addison has 4 of his own. He's checking back in. The former University of Buffalo product, so playing not far from his home city.
What'd you say the drive is in Queens?
Queens? From here,
I'm talking about St. John. You said it wasn't a long drive from his hometown. Speaking of Addison.
Speaking of Addison, I guess I jumped the gun there a bit.
Well,
he's not far from where he went to school.
There we go.
The beautiful.
Didn't mean to hang you out to dry there.
The beautiful city of Buffalo, New York.
Yes.
Giving them a shout out.
Yes.
Johnson scores on the inside. Nice play from Cavell. Restores that 1 point Titans lead. Almost got the steal going full out. Now Addison has it poked away. And Sutherland in transition, trying to work around Wormley and easily lays it in. Sutherland 9 points on the night. And that Titans lead back up to 3. Adam Wing gonna check back in for KW.
It's closeout time, so it's almost wing time, if you will, too. It's probably the best defender on the Titans, and he's ready to come back in. They're gonna need him here as there's another bucket the other way for the Riptide. Titans have to continuously grow in terms of closing out ball games. It's been hit or miss for most of the season.
Oh, and what a pass. Johnson, Umapeg, the nice cut. The reverse, he gets the defense heading for the exit doors and lays it in for another 2. Wormley, though, beats him to the outside, can't score. Addison, the follow-up. And he came running all the way from Queens to lay that one in.
Which is a far drive.
Which is a far drive. It's not. Whitfield spinning, no foul called, lots of contact. Johnson flips it over his head and back into the hands of Whitfield. It'll roll out of bounds.
Titan trying to do too much there. I'm just shocked there wasn't a foul call there, and now we have a player bent over for the Riptide. It's Commons. Now 2 of the officials are going to get together and chat things over. And we have a Riptide timeout now with 2:52 to go in the ball game.
Bit of an odd sequence there, but.
Well, Coach Spond was looking for a bit of an explanation as it went out of bounds. And now he's going to get more of an extended one as, again, guess who? Chris Commons coming over.
Commons already has a technical tonight. You have to be careful if you're him. Still barking.
I get it's part of the character, it's part of the package, but it can't be when you're carrying 5 fouls to your name.
It can be a liability sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Just have to realize you're better on the court than off of it. As KW trying to lock down his 16th win of the season. And with the Windsor Express loss, try to get back. They could get within 2 games of the Express. So who's to say that second place in the Central is out of the question?
After this, the Riptide head back home. This is their 5th game of their 5-game Central Division road swing so far. Done pretty well. They've won 3 out of 4. Dropped one Wednesday night in London, a close one. Coach Spahn before the game said, "Yeah, I'm not scared of them. We had our chances." The Riptide also creeping up on the Hurricanes for top spot in the Atlantic, sitting at 22-14.
And watch the sidelines here. Freeman almost acting as a coach on the sidelines, or an assistant coach, if you will.
Yeah.
Not too often you see that. You got to appreciate the leadership.
Freeman, another veteran in this league. Wing thought about the pump fake on the 3. Addison closes in on him defensively, has to throw it away. Umapeg gets the loose ball though. 5 seconds to shoot into the corner. Calise for 3. No good. Loose ball. And it ends up coming back to the Riptide. It's Wormley who secures it in the half court. Tries to cross up. Umapeg throws it up. Addison can't get it to roll. Loose ball. Wing gets to it. Back come the Titans, 2-on-1. Caliste flies in, but can't get it to drop. Blazek, and then it's Commons with the rejection. Loose ball along the sideline. Wing goes tumbling to the ground. He got tied up there. Addison in frustration. We have what appears to be a player from the Riptide down. No.
Yes, we do, and it's still yet to get up. think
seems to be okay, just more frustrated. It's Wormley. No wonder we couldn't see him behind the table.
Give him more credit than that. He was on the ground.
The gingerbread man was hiding from us. So all said and done, Titans ball, 2:08 to go in a fresh 24. They're up 87-86. Calise, the three, won't get it to go. Driving in for the rebound was Whitfield, but couldn't get it to go. Wormley almost lost it though, as Blazek applying some pressure in the full court. Under 2 to play. Wormley against Blazek, 10 to shoot. Takes it back up top and wants that screen, but dishes to Addison. Floats the pass inside and poked away. It's Whitfield who comes away with the loose basketball, leaves it for Caliste. Wing, the drive, left hand, won't get it to drop. And a couple missed opportunities in the paint here for KW.
Yeah, that was an ugly looking left-handed layup there from Wing. Stay controlled going up. Points are at a premium right now.
Minute 20, Famatimi, and St. John has the lead. 88-87, the Riptide out in front. This is where you earn your stripes and answer the question about how solid this ball club is heading into the postseason. Whitfield fouled on the drive-through. He'll have 2 free throws and a chance for the lead again.
And they're getting it in the hands of the right man right here. Glenn Whitfield going up, fouled as he did so. Chance to restore this 1-point Titan lead.
Here we go.
Whitfield ties it at 88. 80% from the line in his 12 appearances, making his 13th this evening. It's Kitchener-Waterloo. Whitfield, good on both. 89-88. Kitchener-Waterloo with the lead. St. John has 2 of their 3 timeouts in the half remaining. Coach Langus has all of them remaining, and we're inside the 1-minute mark. Anderson trying to get that screen from Commons, leaves it up top. Commons, the floater, and the score.
Big bucket there for Commons.
12 for him on the evening. Caliste, Whitfield, down low. Whitfield battling, scoring, plus the foul. Glenn Whitfield gets it done. In the dying moments, St. John can't hold a big man down low, and now the Titans a chance to go up 2.
And you see the Central Division Player of the Week hitting another gear right now within the last 2 or 3 minutes. He's wanting to take control of this ball game and showing flashes of being a force down low. Too much to handle in that instance. Now trying to make a 2-point game.
Whitfield knocks it down. Coach Spahn will not burn a timeout. If the Riptide do score, Coach Langus will use one of his. Commons. Spinning. Commons lost the ball. Caliste grabs the loose rebound. The shot clock's off. Wing flies in. Can't get it to go. There was no goaltending. There's no foul. And now St. John a chance to tie or take the lead into the corner for the lead. It won't go. The loose ball up in the air. Whitfield's away with it. Titans win 92-90. They win the rematch after the thriller at Harbor Station in February.
Referees letting them play here as Wing at the last second was pleading for a foul call. St. John had the chance. The 3 went up, just rattled out. And as the KW Titans come away with win number 16 on the year.
92-90 the final, as a crazy ending to this one. It was low scoring the whole way through, and in the end, it looked like Wing might have missed a shot that cost them the game, but in the end, they dodged a huge bullet. And you mentioned it, the Riptide, they had their chances. And 2 guys played tremendously well for them all night long, and Anthony Anderson, Gabe Freeman did it. Some big guys and Anthony Stover and Brian Anderson. But in the end of it, once again, a spread out effort from the Titans. Whitfield coming off that player of the week effort. A quiet 21 points almost tonight. Didn't make a whole lot of noise until the end.
Well, it just wasn't spread out on a consistent basis. He looked good in spurts, but again, came out and really dominated when it counted. We talked about closing out. The Titans finally able to do so this evening. A big win after returning home from a successful 3-game road trip, 2-1 on the East Coast. Now continuing that winning trend here as they try to inch closer to 500. Tough test again though tomorrow afternoon, quick turnaround as the London Lightning are back here at the Odd.
Speaking of that meeting with the Lightning, of course, a big one today. They split the season series with St. John, but now you get the team that is almost seems to be a write-in to win the championship. How well is their performance against London? How crucial is that to how we can expect this team to prepare for the playoffs?
I think it's a big statement game, and considering now that with the Windsor Express loss to the Lightning today, KW is just 2 games out of second spot. So, you know what? A home playoff game isn't outside the conversation or outside the realm of possibility here for the KW Titans. Don't tell me they don't watch the standings at this point in the season. They certainly are. So I'm sure they're extra motivated now with that being a very real possibility.
So the Titans, they gained some ground on Orangeville for that 3rd spot in the Central. They're still chasing the Windsor Express, who've been red hot as of late. They'll get the London Lightning tomorrow at 2 p.m. here at the Odd. And only 1 road game remaining. They've got a lot of home games here on their home court to close out the season. We'd like to thank you for tuning in once again. A 92-90 win for the KW Titans over the St. John Riptide. For Ian Jodry and Dan Polishuk, thanks again for watching. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon.